St. Mary's College, plus Microalgal.
Sir, shall we start, sir?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. I am presenting my PPT.
Sir, we have a formal welcome address and prayer song, so you can share it afterwards, sir.
Yes, madam.
Thank you.
Yes, madam.
Okay.
அந்த Zoom எங்க இருக்கு?
A warm and a cordial welcome to one and all virtually connected here. It's my pleasure to welcome you all for this international workout on microalgal technology organized by Marian Star Center, Department of Botany, St. Mary's College, Autonomous Thoothukudi, sponsored by the Department of Biotechnology, New Delhi, under the Star College scheme. For the happy initiation of this workshop, let us invoke the blessing of the Lord through this prayer song.
Lord, you seem so far away, 1,000,000 miles or more it feels today. And though I haven't lost my faith, I must confess right now, it's hard for me to pray. But I don't know what to say, and I don't know where to start. But as you give the grace, with all that's in my heart, I will sing, yes, I will pray. Even in my darkest hour, through the sorrow and the pain, I will sing, I will pray. Lift my hands to honor you, because your word is true, I will sing.
Let me take this opportunity to introduce the resource person of the day, Dr. Rajaram. Respected resource person, Dr. Rajaram, Reverend Sister Principal, Dr. Sister Lucia Rose, Reverend Sister Secretary, and Reverend Sisters and HODs, faculties, and dear participants. Very good morning, one and all connected to this virtual platform. At the outset, I would like to welcome and introduce our resource person, Dr. Rajaram, Associate Professor, Department of Marine Science, Bharathadasan University. Dr. Rajaram is a great academician, accepted our invitation to serve as a resource person. On behalf of the management and faculties of Botany Department, extend a warm welcome to you, sir. This is the right time to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Rajaram, on his academic caliber and research contribution. Dr. Rajaram, presently working as an Associate Professor, Department of Marine Science, Bharathadasan University, Trichy. He is a passionate teacher with 18 years of teaching experience. His 23 years of research experience helped him to publish 87 research articles in his area of specialization, including marine natural products, marine pollution, and bioremediation. He has also presented 31 research articles in national and international conferences. His extensive research made him to produce 9 PhD. Under his able guidance, 11 scholars completed their MPhil. His workforce with higher skill and broad span of research attitude paved him to complete 5 major research projects funded by UGC, DST, SCRB, Ministry of Environment, GO MRED and TNSCST. And presently he is undergoing 3 major projects. Besides research, he holds many positions in various academic bodies and membership in several research organizations. He was the NAC coordinator, executive committee member in Clean and Green Initiative, Bharathidasan University, Trichy. Recognizing his contribution to the society, he was conferred with several awards such as DST Youth Science Award in 2010, Outstanding Scientist in Marine Biotechnology, awarded by Venus International Foundation. His tenacity and academic achievement facilitated to conduct 44 conferences, 19 seminars, 13 training programs in his area of specialization. Indeed, we are fortunate to hear your lecture on marine microplastic pollution threat to marine environment. Once again, I extend our cordial welcome to you, sir. This is my great honor to welcome our beloved principal, Dr. Sister Lucia Rose, whose stewardship led this institution to the higher altitude of what it is today. I also joyous welcome to our secretary, Reverend Sister Flora Mary, for her all-time support in all our academic endeavor. My special warm welcome are due to our deputy principal, Dr. Sister Parmitaras, and Director Self-Supporting Host, Dr. Sister Josephine Jayaralan. My hearty welcome to Dr. Sister Arake Genshis Alphonse, Overall Coordinator and Member Secretary of DBT, Staff College Scheme, New Delhi. I also welcome dear HODs, Deans, Controller of Examination, faculties, and all my dear participants. Welcome all and all. Dear participants, kindly switch on your camera and join us in the group photo session.
Thank you, madam. Now I present share my screen. I hope my screen is visible to all. My voice also audible. Right?
So this is a photo session.
My voice is visible, and also my my slide is also. Yeah. Yes. Very good afternoon. Good morning, madam. Thank you for your wonderful and nice introduction. Let me check my voice and my slides. Is it my slides are visible and moving? I hope, and also my voice is also audible to all.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
Yes. Really, I apologize for a little bit delay due to my desktop problem. Now I change my desktop into laptop. I hope hereafter no issue will come from my side. So once again, I thank the organizer for giving me the opportunity to share my experience on microplastic research to all the audience. My talk, I hope my talk will be 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes about microplastics and its impact on marine environment and also in human health, how it affects the human health. All these things we are going to discuss for another 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes, including the discussion time. So my topic of presentation is marine microplastic pollution and its threats to marine environment. So for another 1 hour, we are going to talk about this content, like why microplastic studies are need, and what about the overview of microplastic pollution and the general plastic pollution, and what are the types of plastics and what are the types of plastic in current usage, and what about the definition for microplastic and the fate of microplastic. And there are classification based on size, shape, and there are a number of ways we are classifying the microplastic. That also we are going to discuss. Then current status of microplastic pollution in India and also in global scenario. Then impact of microplastic in ocean. Then another important area of microplastic research is to quantify what are the techniques we are using to quantify the microplastic pollution. Then we have conducted some studies. There are some ongoing studies also in the form of case studies. Also, 1 or 2 case studies we are going to briefly discuss. Then what about the management measures? How we can overcome this microplastic pollution? All these things we are going to discuss. If you have any doubts or clarification, even you can stop my presentation and ask your doubt. Otherwise, we will have good time after my presentation. After 1 hour, we will have half an hour for discussion. So why we need to study microplastic? What is the use of studying this microplastic? So there are, due to microplastic pollution for the past 2 decades, there are a lot of issues even in human health. There are a lot of problems in human health. There are a lot of chronic diseases are coming. This shows the, for example, if you see 154, 160, 68, 175, these are some of the authors. They have conducted microplastic research, impact on research and its impact on human health. So in generally, this slide shows the microplastic affects the human health, particularly in the nervous system and the excretory system, digestive system, respiratory system, even in placenta, in placenta, even skin. There are a lot of problems. There are a lot of reports for the past 5 to 10 years. There are a lot of impact due to microplastic on human health are reported or reporting. So if you talk about a little bit chronic impact or acute impact on human due to microplastic pollution, there are no general. If you see the children's to adult, now the obesity is a major issue everywhere. We are seeing for the past 2 decades. This obesity is for the past 5 decades. There are a lot of obesity cases are reported in human due to plastic pollution only, due to microplastic pollution. This is well reported by Kannan and Vimal Kumar to the year 2021 paper. Then there are acute and chronic toxicity, carcinogenicity. There are now you see everywhere, every home we have cancer patients. Carcinogenicity is a common issue everywhere. This is also due to microplastic contamination and the microplastic contaminated food consumption, which cause carcinogenicity. And there are a lot of developmental toxicity due to microplastic. And nowadays, there are a reason currently, even people are conducting nanoplastic research. Nanoplastic and the microplastic are causing chronic toxicity, genotoxicity, and the developmental toxicity to humans. Then microplastic and nanoplastic also cause immunosuppression. That means immune system, the poor response of immune response is reported. Then immune activation and the abnormal inflammatory responses are reported due to microplastic and nanoplastic contamination in human being. There are diseases related to gastrointestinal tract and affects the beneficial microbiota in gastrointestinal tract are reported very recently. Then there are plastics people are using like bisphenol A, phthalates. There are a number of plastics people are using. These also cause these all plastics like bisphenol A and phthalates are endocrine disturbing chemical. This will disturb the endocrine system, even secretion and even distribution of endocrine hormones are highly affected by plastics. And the small polymers, they also cause a lot of problem in lungs. There are small low molecular weight dust-like polymers are available. Even when we travel in 2-wheeler or 4-wheeler in the heavy traffic area, there are particles, small particle, microplastic particles are present in the air dust. So when we inhale this air dust, microplastic air particles are present in the air. When we inhale, this causes lung cancer. Nowadays, there are a lot of lung cancer patients are reported. Then bisphenol A is also associated with diseases associated with a decrease of sperm count in a male, and also it reduces the birth weight of infants, and it also causes a lot of cardiovascular problems. There are well reported by Wang et al. During the year 2015. And bisphenol A and phthalate also may lead to increase the risk of developing breast cancers also reported. These all are some of the very few reports due to microplastic contamination in human are reported. That is why we need to study the microplastic more and more. So currently, when you take a past 30 years research and research data, There are number of papers are increasing nowadays. After 2010, currently last 2-3 years, when you see last 2-3 years publications, microplastic and the impacts, there are a lot of publications are coming. So in this presentation, we are going to discuss not only the ongoing research, what is going on in my lab. Apart from that, what is the real impact of microplastic in global scenario? How it affects the marine environment, how it affects the terrestrial environment, how it affects all organisms, environment. So in this occurrence, how we are going to characterize this microplastic, all these things we are going to discuss. Not only research data, it also deals with whatever the work available globally. So when we go and visit the coastal areas or the outside of the urban city, this is a condition. Everywhere solid waste dumping is more, particularly in the coastal area and urban cities. Outside of the urban city, we can see this kind of dump yard or dump site, where more than 50% of dump yard or dump site, they contain all form of solid waste. Particularly when you check or characterize the solid waste present in the dump yard, you can find more than 50% of waste material or solid waste materials which contains plastic, maybe a soft plastic item or it may be a hard plastic item. So whatever the home appliances, whatever the things we are using in our home or outside the home, maybe in the industries or in the shop, mostly they contain plastic. There are some plastic which are soft in nature. There are some plastic which are hard in nature. After using it, after damage the items, we are dumping. So all these things, you see these this kind of dumping, we can see in the coastal part. These all are the photographs we can taken from coastal areas. So before going to discuss about microplastic pollutions, what is plastic pollutions? How it happened? What are the types are available? Just we will see a little bit about plastic pollution. So you know that all of you know that plastic is a synthetic material. Sometimes it is a semi-synthetic solid material suitable for various industrial applications, home applications, everywhere we are using. This is synthetic chemical material. It is synthetic chemical. It's a polymer. There are hard polymer which are made up of. There are hard plastic which are made up of high molecular weight. There are soft polymers like a carry bag and other items which are low molecular weight. There are high molecular weight polymers are available, and also low molecular weight polymers are available. This polymer nowadays usage is more because of its good performance and also the economic value, less economic value. We are using everywhere. We are using polymer. This plastic or polymer was first invented by Alexander Perkins during the year 1862. Even though he identified 18th century, the usage is more for the past 70 years. And the 20th century only, we are using a lot of plastics. Plastic made material we are using. So the history is about around 200 years, 250 years, but last 70 years, the usage of plastic for human welfare or human purpose is more. There are different kind of polymers or plastic materials are available in the market. Maybe a litter found in the marine environment, or maybe other kind of waste material, solid waste material present in everywhere. So all these things constitute majorly constitute 6 polymers. There are more than 30 different type of polymers are available. Plastic materials are available. Among the 30 different type of polymers, only 6 polymers are they are dominated. The usage is more. Particularly the 6 polymers like polypropanol, polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride, polyurethane, and polytetraphthalate, and also polyester. These all are the common 6 polymers. The usage is more. So among the different kind of polymers, these 6 polymers contribute 80% of total plastic production in the world. These are some of the some type of plastic product we are daily using, like a plastic bag, plastic coatings, plastic furnitures are available, plastic sheets, fittings, tank, plastic toys, buckets, and a lot of plastic sanitary wares are available, and the plastic stationery items also available. These all are unavoidable. They are we people are daily using this. If you take in your college, how many students they are coming daily? you just take a total strength of your college student, nearly about 1,200 strength. If you take, each one is using a single use pen. They may be used for 15 days or 20 days. After that, they just throw these pen items and they bought the new items. A single student, single year, how many pens they are using, how many the polythene made pens they are using, how much they are disposing. You just think about it, how it how much it is dumped into the environment, what is the degradation efficiency, how it causes the pollution, waste dumping, all these things. If you take a single pen, there are a lot of issues are available. Like that, there are many items we are in the stage of inseparable to use the plastics. You see, there are now other, apart from that, whatever the things we have discussed in the last slide, there are other items. You see, 18% of confection items, 18% of items, plastic items, belongs to confectionery bags and chips, followed by bottles and caps, lids, around 12% we are using. Then there are PET bottles, supermarket retail bags, straws, garbage bags. There are a lot of plastic made items. Even cigarette lighters is made up of plastic. Milk bottles, food containers, water and drinking bottles, juice bottles. There are many items we are using which are made up of plastic. So this plastic are after usage, we are dumping into the environment due to external forces like temperature, due to external forces like sunlight, UV radiation, temperature, waves, and wind actions. These large sized plastics are gradually converted into small sized plastic like microplastic, and it get accumulated and it get transferred from one organism to another organism by food chain transfer way. Even it enter into the human body and cause a lot of problems. So particularly the source of microplastic is from deterioration of large sized plastic particle by UV radiation, wind action, mechanical force in the seas. Particularly current, tides, and waves are creating the microplastic from the macro-sized plastic. Apart from that, there are microplastic directly released into the environment by scrubs and abrasives in the household materials, and also there are a lot of personal care products are available which are completely made up of plastic material. Then apart from that, the third major source of microplastic is accidental loss of industrial raw material. We are using a lot of industrial raw material which are made up of small sized polymers. When we there are some accidental way these small sized or microplastics are entered into the environment and also cause a lot of problems. These all are the three sources of microplastic from the environment into the environment. So what is meant by microplastic? You just see the diagrams here. These all are a small sized particle. Plastic materials are called microplastic. You see, this is from the environment we collected. This kind of photos we taken from the environment. You see, microplastics are nothing but it is a smaller sized particle or microscopic sized particle. The size of microplastic is less than 5 millimeter to micron level is called microplastic. The size is less than 5 mm in size, which are emerged mainly from the production of personal care product, all kind of personal care product containing microplastic particles, and also fragments of larger particle by mechanical degradation or by UV light, or by sometimes from bottles, whatever the bottle we use and throw, due to mechanical degradations, microplastics are coming, and the food wrappers also contains microplastic, and the plastic bags. These all are the major source of microplastic. So there are two types of microplastic. One is called as primary microplastic. Another one is called as secondary microplastic. The primary microplastics are smaller and are produced by external human use, particularly the microplastic present in the personal care product. Their occurrence is directly from the source. So they are coming as a microplastic. So particularly from personal care product, all the personal care product, they contain microplastic particles which are micron level in size. Secondary microplastic also come from the environment due to the result of breakdown of larger sized plastic material, larger sized whatever the plastic material we are using, larger sized material, due to the environmental actions like waves and winds and temperature, they are converting into smaller size particle as a result of microplastic. They usually come from large sized macroplastics. Then you see the different type of classification here. So how we classify the microplastic? You just see there are different types, different shapes. According to shapes, according to size, we can classify it. So plastic, whatever the plastic we are using, this is for example, furniture or industrial product, or whatever in the supermarket, whatever the plastic we are using, these plastics are called a mega plastic. The size is more than 1 meter sized materials are called a mega plastic. Like you see the bucket here, you see the small scoop net. These all are called a mega plastic. The size is more than 1 meter. Then macroplastic, the size is 2.5 centimeter to 1 meter is called as macroplastic, particularly the bags and all, supermarket bag and other confectionery bags, the size is from 2.5 centimeter to 1 meter. Those plastics are called macroplastic. So macroplastics are usually consumed by marine mammals. These also macroplastic, if broken into small size and all, it also look like a different color. It look like food particles. The marine mammals like a dolphin, whales, they are wrongly consume this mega-sized plastic as a food material. We are consuming it. Then another third one is called as mesoplastic. Mesoplastic size range from 5 mm to 2.5 centimeter. Those plastics are called a mesoplastic. This is example for mesoplastic. Mesoplastics are directly consumed by fishes, highly carnivore fishes, and also on the tertiary consumer like birds and all. They are directly taking this mesoplastic as a food material. Then whatever we are discussing now is called as microplastic. I already told you the size of microplastic is less than 5 millimeter in size. This is taken by all kind of organisms, all birds, fishes, even human body. We have a microplastic. There are reports are available. We are going to discuss. Then currently, for the past 5 to 10 years, people are concentrating on nanoplastic research. Nanoplastic, you see, less than 1 micron sized particles are called as nanoplastic. Nanoplastics are consumed by microscopic organisms like zooplankton, some larval form, fish larvae. They are consuming nanoplastic as a food material and cause a lot of problems. Through this the plastic consumption by microscopic organism, macroscopic organism, and the tertiary consumer, it gradually transfer the transport of microplastic and nanoplastic from smaller level microorganism to higher level organism by food chain transformation way. Even there are a lot of reports coming. These microplastic and nanoplastics are present in the human body. We will discuss in the coming slide. Then when we visit the coastal areas and go for collection of microplastic sample in sediment and water, this is the conditions. When we visit the Chennai coast or Thoothukudi coast or Mandapam coast, whatever the coastal area, this is the conditions. You see, look like a sand. We can see the microplastic. We can see the plastic particles. These all are come from homemade wastes, plastic wastes. Due to waves and winds, they are converted into smaller particle called microplastic. Apart from that, fishing net also, due to waves and wind actions, they are the macro-sized ropes and fishing nets are gradually converted into microplastic. These all are the conditions in when you see the coastal sediment, particularly the urban coastal sediment like Chennai city or Thoothukudi city or Nagapattinam city or Kanyakumari city coastal sediment, you can see this kind of particles. These are called microplastics. So there are this you see, this is a world map where we have 5 oceans. We have smaller ocean called the Indian Ocean. We have Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, and Arctic Ocean and the Southern Ocean. 5 oceans are there. So all this in the 5 ocean, there are five patches of plastic, 5 look like island. The island look like island moss. The litters, marine plastic litters are moving. You see here if you take an Atlantic Ocean, there are 2 batches of plastic material or plastic litters are moving. They are come from the terrestrial source only, by storm water, by tsunami water. They taken from they wash into the land areas and come into the coast, come into the ocean. They are just moving. There are 5 different patches of plastic material, litter material, look like island. It is moving in the Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, and even Indian Ocean, Southern Oceans. They are moving slowly due to the waves and winds and temperature. They are slowly converting into this macro-sized particle, or macroplastics are converted into microplastic and affects the entire ocean system. Not only ocean resources, even the oceans are greatly affected by plastic. So when these macroplastics are slowly converted into small-sized microplastic, it is more toxic than the microplastic and also in macroplastic. The converted product like nanoparticles or nanoplastics or microplastics are more toxic than the original macroplastics. So it is moving. It is moving. These all are from land-derived waste material only. It contains all marine litter, particularly the plastic matters are more. These all are the batches of large sized litters, marine litters are moving due to terrestrial source. So when we visit the coastal site, you see this is a condition. This is a natural, this is a photo taken from the coastal areas. You see here, lot of microplastic. The plastic materials are floating. There are some plastic materials are settling. There are many plastic materials are floating. It disturbs the penetration of light. If there is no penetration of light in the ocean water, no photosynthesis. If no photosynthesis by marine plants like microalgae and macroalgae, no food source for other animals. As a result, ultimately, the marine biodiversity will be lost. Marine seafood, the seafood going to last. In future, there are scientists predicted that in 2050, the quantum of plastic is more than the quantum of fish available in the ocean. There are reports are available. This is a condition everywhere. So what about the current status of microplastic in India and other countries? You see the accumulation and the persistence of plastic debris in the marine environment is constantly increasing nowadays. If you compare the dumping of plastic material in the ocean now and before 10 years or 2 to 3 decades before, it is increasing year by year. The production also more, it is increasing. So unfortunately, waste management system in many countries, particularly in India also, are unable to handle the scale of waste. Large plastic material, large plastics as well as microplastics find their way into river and eventually released into the ocean. And 80% of plastic material or microplastic material enter into the ocean through the river only, through the landfill activity, through the urban source, and through the river only it discharged. So a river is a main route which discharge the plastic material to the ocean. But these plastic materials are usually using in the land only. After using it, we are dumping into the environment. So a river carries all this material, all this plastic material to the ocean. So 80% of marine plastics, microplastic or macroplastics, are coming from just reverse transport only. There are data says that about 8 million metric tons of plastics are thrown into the ocean by every year. So 8 million metric ton, just think about it. How much quantity of plastic materials are going to the ocean. Of this, 236,000 tons are microplastics. Apart from among the 8 million metric tons, nearly about 236,000 tons are microplastics are entered into the ocean. There are reports says that microplastics are present, microplastic and the plastics are present even 11 kilometer depth in the ocean. So the maximum depth of ocean is 11 kilometer, which is Mariana Trench. Mariana Trench, the bottom contains plastic material and microplastic materials. In such a way, it is distributed everywhere. These plastics are serious threats to marine life, particularly all marine resources. Then primarily, it also causes a lot of entanglement. When you throw the plastic material, particularly fishing net and all, it causes entanglement of marine mammals, particularly marine mammals and reptiles like turtles and other whales and dolphins. They are caught by these nets, and which cause entanglement. And sometimes these organisms also eat. It look like a food material, attractive colors attract the organisms, and they intake this item as a food material. Once it enters the gut region, they cannot digest and cause a lot of problem, and the death will happen. So in general, the plastics are present. It is present everywhere. Even 11-kilometer depth on the ocean, we can find the plastic. Even Mount Everest contains plastic material. There are a lot of marine organisms. They cannot distinguish the common plastic item from food material because of its color, because of its nature. It looks like a food items. They are consumed wrongly and enter into the stomach, and it causes a lot of problems. So you see, already I told you there are 5 patches of plastic patch look like island size are moving in Atlantic and the Pacific and even Indian Ocean. These all are the patches. It look like island shape. These all the waste material derived from the land only by storm water, by in the form of storm water, by in the form of tsunami. They are entered into the ocean, and just they are moving. As a result of moving due to wave action, wind action, temperature, they are gradually converting into smaller particle called the microplastic, and it accumulate in all the marine organisms and cause a lot of problems. You see, there are a lot of marine mammals, in terrestrial animals. They consume this plastic material as a food. As a result, death will happen due to indigestion problem. The death will happen. There are reports says that already I told you, in 2050 there will be more plastic in ocean than the total weight of the fish. So these all organisms, they are eating this plastic material as a food and cause a lot of ingestion problems. So this is the data given by Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change, Government of India. India alone generates nearly about 25,940 tons of plastic material. Of this, more than 97 tons are solid waste per day. So among the 97,000 solid waste generated per day, 25,000, around 26,000 tons are plastic material, according to the ministry report. So just to think about how much solid waste per day. Out of this, how much plastic waste per day is generated by Government of India. As far as Government of India, Ministry of Environment and Forest report says that all are dumped into the environment only. So there are another report also. More recent research found that 90% of marine plastic debris originated from just 10 rivers. So whatever the plastic material present in the ocean, so among the ocean, 90% of these plastic materials are coming into the ocean from just 10 rivers. Out of 10 rivers, 8 rivers are present in Asia and 2 are in Africa. So out of 10 rivers that drain over 90% of plastic material or plastic debris into the ocean globally, there are 3 rivers flowing in India, like India. So which are Indus, Ganga, and Brahmaputra. These 3 rivers are present in India. So Indian contribution of marine plastic or marine debris into the ocean is more. So if you take the data, Indo River alone carries around 1,64,332 tons of plastic, mismanaged plastics into the ocean. Another Brahmaputra and the Ganges alone, both they carry around 72,845 tons of plastic into the ocean, which is the world's 6th highest amount of plastic debris into the ocean. We 3 rivers contribute around more than 2 lakh tons of plastic material or solid waste materials are dumped into the Indian Ocean by these 3 rivers. You see that this is Ganges, Brahmaputra. How much quantity of waste materials is through these 3 rivers is carrying into the ocean. Yeah. So this is data. This is another research conducted in Gulf of Mannar region and also entire Indian East Coast and West Coast. It shows that you see there are now we have this many numbers of coastal states, right from Kerala, Karnataka, Goa, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, West Bengal, Lakshadweep, Andaman Nicobar. These all are the coastal states in India. How much quantity of microplastic particle per gram of microplastic or plastic material present in the meter square of sediment soil. They conducted these studies and published. So from these studies, it shows that if you take the shoreline marine litter of Gulf of Mannar region, nearly about 94 to 95 items, different items of plastic material, not microplastic, plastic material, which is about 5,409 to 6,588 gram is noticed in the sediment soil per meter square of sediment soil during the year 2007. So among these solid waste or plastic solid waste material present in the meter square of sediment material collected and analyzed in the Gulf of Mannar region, most of the items are plastic items. This is about 15 years old data. You just think about the current year data. So definitely the current year data is more than the data which we are seeing here. So this is another study about decline of population status of marine turtles in all over, not only in India, all over the world. There are this many turtle marine reptiles are present. They are currently for the past 1 or 2 decades, people are reporting that there are many turtle species, or the population of turtle species are decreasing, and they are becoming endangered, or some are becoming vulnerable, and some are becoming critically endangered. These all are due to the consumption of plastic material. So they are consuming whatever the plastic material we're dumping into the ocean. The turtles they are moving from one continent to another continent for breeding purpose. So while moving, while traveling for migrating, they are taking this plastic material as food. They are no giant animal. They eat more quantity of plastic. As a result, due to the injection problem, due to the indigestion problem, the populations are decreasing. They are dying, and their population become endangered, critically endangered, and sometimes vulnerable. This is another turtle population due to consumption of plastic material. So this is different other content, different studies in sea waters and the marine sediment. They reported the number of microplastic per meter square of sediment and per meter square of water. So these are the studies conducted in different areas like UK, Swedish coast and Swedish harbor, Norwegian coast. And, yeah. So these all are the data reported by different authors. No, it says that in all areas microplastics are present. There are some areas the particle numbers are more, there are some area particle numbers are less, but everywhere the microplastics are present. This is another studies they conducted in subtidal area. They conducted these studies in offshore area, harbor sediment. It shows the presence of microplastics. There are some areas, UK coast, estuarine area. The study conducted by Thompson et al. During the year 2004, 50 particle per liter of wet sediment is reported. Like that, many international waters and international borders, they conducted the study. Everywhere the microplastic particles are present. It may be a water, it may be a sediment, it may be organisms. So due to this presence of microplastic, what about the impact on marine organisms? Fishes, all the fin fishes and all, they mistakenly taken this microplastic as a food particle or a food. It may look like a smaller particle, look like a phytoplankton, look like a zooplankton. They consume this microplastic as a food material, and eventually when the accumulation is more in the digestive tract, it causes death. Many animals, many of marine animals, like in the food chain, like a carnivore animal or herbivore animal or omnivore animal, irrespective of food and feeding nature, they take this material, it look like a plant, it look like an animal because of its color, and the entire food chain system in the marine is contaminated by microplastic, and due to the indigestion problem, the death will happen. Plastic also zinc on the ocean floor and affects the sediment dwelling species. There are large sized particles. Gradually they are sink into the bottom of the ocean. As a result, there are bottom dwelling organisms like worms, polychaete worms are available, bivalves are available, crabs are available. These are also affected by not only the organisms living in the column of water, organisms are present in the sediment. Bottom dwelling animals also affected by microplastic. When these plastics are exposed into UV rays in water, UV rays particularly when the temperature is more in the area where the microplastics are present, it releases a harmful chemical which are not at all found in the nature, which are more toxic than the original plastics. So this microplastic interact with the temperature, interact with UV radiation, it releases some toxic compound which is powerful toxin, which is a powerful carcinogen. Even the cancer and the cancers are not only reported in human being. For the last 2 decades, the tumor and the cancers are reported in marine fishes. In marine organisms also tumors are reported due to the consumption of plastics items, which they have a lot of potential toxic chemical, which induce a normal cell into carcinogen cell, tumor cells. So when the plastics are microplastic and the plastic debris are eaten by the marine organisms, there are a lot of problems will happen. Like in the case of animal, gut blockage will happen. The food particle cannot, they may not move from alimentary canal to anus. So gut blockage will happen. Heightened immune response going to reduce. Loss of lipid reserves. So wherever the lipid accumulations are there, so loss of lipid accumulations happen. Then disruption of other normal physiological functions in respect to photosynthesis, in respect with the respiratory system, in respect with the reproductive process, and other health impact due to consumption of plastics by organisms is happening. So this is another data published in environmental pollution during the year 2014. You see the microplastic studies and the plastic dumping studies are conducted in many parts. This is about 7-8 years old data. So during 8 years old report published in environmental pollution journal. So microplastic studies conducted everywhere. So it is present almost in the entire continent, all the 6 continents. There are area large sized items, large sized plastic items are reported. There are areas small sized items, plastic items are reported. There are areas the number of plastic particles are more. There are area number of particles are less. But it says that everywhere the entire earth is contaminated by plastic and microplastic pollution. So this diagram shows the overall representation of environmental fat of microplastic, where we are using how it entered into the aquatic system. In aquatic system, what it happened, you just see the plastic usage is more in industries and also by domestic activities and also by coastal transport activities. The plastic usages are from this majorly from this 3 sectors by domestic usage, industrial sector, and also transportation, surface transportation sector, particularly ship transport and all. After using, these plastics are gradually dumped into the environment, and they are due to the wave action, wind action, thermal things, they are gradually converted. Macroplastic become microplastic become nanoplastic, and they get accumulated or get it presence in the beach sediment or in the water or in the coastal water. When we see the microplastic in the coastal waters or in the coastal sediment, it get fragmented into small size, like less than 5 millimeter size, and it is eaten by different kind of organisms. And there are some particles even it deposit in the ocean. So it says that it is present in the entire aquatic system, not only in the column of the region water system, it also present in the bottom of the regions. So it not only affects the macro level organism, even The microplastic affects the micro level organisms like larval forms, planktonic forms, even the algae and algae like algae, coral, single cellular cyanobacteria also affected by microplastic. There is a recent report, it says that the microplastic particles are attracted by algal cells. So many microplastics are attracted by algae and it get attached with the algae. As a result, the weight of algae became more, even single cellular algal weight also became more, and it deposited or it deposited in the bottom. As a result, there is no photosynthesis, that the entire area become hypoxic zone. There is no oxygen production. As a result, animal production also affected. So currently there are reports reported by NASA in the ocean environment, in the many area, hypoxic zones are reported due to microplastic pollution, because these microplastic particles are attached on the cells of the plants, on the cells, particular macro and microalgal cells. As a result, the weight of the micro and microalgal cells become more, and it deposit on the ocean floor. So as a result, no microalgae, no macroalgae. So as a result, no oxygen production. If no oxygen production, no animals. So the entire area become oxygen deficient area, which is called as hypoxic zone. As a result, ultimately, the ocean production become reduced. So this is accumulation of different shape of microplastic initiate intestinal injury and the gut microbiota dysbiosis in the gut of fish. This is also an interesting report published in the paper, published in the journal called Hemosphere. The accumulation of different size, different shaped microplastic in the gut of fishes cause a lot of problem. Like there are bead shaped, fragment shaped, fiber shaped. There are different varieties like polystyrene microplastic, polypropylene based microplastics. All these plastics get accumulated in the gut of the fish, cause gut microbiota dysbiosis. So there are intestinal, definitely this sharp particle cause injury in the gut region. Not only the injury, whatever the beneficial microbiota like beneficial bacteria available in the gut region for digestion of food material. So this polymers, this plastic, which kill the beneficial bacteria present in the gut regions. So this is a report published in the Hemosphere. They used zebrafish as animal model to test all these things. Then another important, this is very recent, 2022 report, the high level of microplastic in commercial salt and industrial salt rains in Sri Lanka. This is neighbor country, very close to Thoothukudi only. Thoothukudi is a region where we have a lot of salt pan and all. We need to study the condition of salt pan due to microplastic pollution. This is a report from Sri Lanka, a very recent report, 1 month back, the paper published in Marine Pollution Bulletin. From the salt pan and the salt pan area, they collected different salt and analyzed the microplastic. Nearly about 22 different type of polymers are detected in the salt, commercial salt. You see LDP, HDP, all kind of polymers. So I told you more than 30 different type of polymers are in commercial use. Among the 30 different type of polymers, 22 polymers are detected very recently in Sri Lanka salt pan. Just think about even in Thoothukudi also there are a lot of industries, harbor activities are going. When you check the microplastic particle in salt pan in Thoothukudi, definitely we will have this many kind of different plastic as a result. So knowingly or unknowingly we are taking this salt. So as a result, it gets accumulated in our human gut, and it reduces the human harmful beneficial bacteria and cause a lot of problems. This is another report. So not only the microplastic affects the fish, not only it affects the environment, water system, sediment system, even salt and all. This is also another interesting report published in the review report published in the Science of the Total Environment during the year 2022, January. So all the edible vegetables, they have microplastic, small sized particle, micron level particles, even present. They have small pore, they absorb it. Even all soils and the groundwaters are contaminated by microplastic through the diffusion system, through the transpiration system. These microplastics are even accumulated in the plant. Microplastic sometimes may be a nanoplastic. Smaller size particles are accumulated in the plant system, particularly in the whatever the vegetable we are consuming. There also the nanoplastic and the microplastics are present. This microplastic and nanoplastic not only present, it also retard the plant growth, shape of the plant, and the nutritious nature of the fruit, nutritious nature of the vegetables also affected by this microplastic. And this comprehensive report very recently published in the Science of the Total Environment. Just so you can see the papers and read how the microplastic and the nanoplastic affects different plant and animal plant varieties and the plant plant seeds, fruit part, and vegetable part also greatly affected by these microplastics. This is another report, interesting report, recent report, published in Journal of Hazardous Material, ranking of potential hazardous microplastic polymer in the marine environment. You see, nearly about 2,000 plus countries we have in the earth, in the globe. So among the 2,000 plus country, what are the countries the microplastic polymer usage is more, microplastic or plastic usage is more, contribution to the environment is more. There is a report, it says that China contribute more. That's the first country where plastic pollution or plastic pollution contribution in the globe is more, followed by Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, India also. You just see fifth or sixth rank India, the Nigeria, Bangladesh, Thailand, Egypt. These all are the countries, Malaysia, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. These all are around 10 or 15 countries. Their contribution is more than 70%. Other countries, they have strict measures. They have strict management things to control the plastic and all. There are apart from that, we have also unknown source also there. So nearly about 10 countries, their contribution to plastic pollution in the earth is more. This is another interesting research data published in Journal of Hazardous Material. This is also, you see, microplastic in marine organisms across the tropical, Eastern Pacific, and Galapagos Island. So the animals, the commercially important fish, commercially important seafood collected from Eastern Pacific regions, particularly the Galapagos area, there also they reported the microplastic in the gut region of commercially important food fishes. So the squid is another mollusk group. There the microplastic particle present in the gut is more. 93 particles per squid is reported, followed by other fin fishes, even bivalves, shrimps, fin fishes, rays, shark, all the commercial fishes collected from the Pacific regions and the Galapagos regions, were all fishes irrespective of feeding nature. It may be a carnivore or herbivore or detrivore or omnivore. All fishes in the gut, they contain microplastic particles. These all are the maximum particle reported in squid, 93 particles, followed by 87 particles per fish, 73 particles, 60 particles, 80 particles. All fishes, the accumulation of microplastic is present. Even you see, this is another interesting report, microplastic in surface water of Ross Sea in Antarctic region. Antarctic region, no people are living, no countries are present. It is a wide continent, only research stations are available. All countries, they have research stations, they conduct research, the polar research in the Antarctic regions. In the Antarctic Sea, microplastics are reported. Whatever we are using here, through the current and wave actions and through the atmospheric wind transport, the microplastics are entered into Antarctic region. This is another report published in Chemosphere about the presence of microplastic in Antarctic waters and Antarctic sediment. So some influential mechanisms of microplastic and marine organisms. If you take marine organisms like a fish or microalgae, both are affected by microplastic. If you take a marine organism, fishes, particularly, this is a zebrafish animal model used for conducting all kind of research. This zebrafish, the microplastics problem or accumulations are present in the liver region. Its impact on liver region, gut regions, and it affects the microplastic, affects the growth retardation. Retardation means decrease the growth of organisms and affects the reproduction, because it affects the sperm production, egg productions. Total reproduction behavior is affected by this microplastic, and also finally death will happen. This is an experiment conducted in lab due to the impact of microplastic on fish. In such a way, microplastic impact on microalgae also conducted in laboratory level experiment. It also shows that the microplastic get attached in the microalgal cell surface because of the electrostatic forces and all. There are many microplastic particles attached on the surface of the microalgae. As a result, the growth retardation will happen, growth inhibition will happen, and also it affects the photosynthesis ability of the microalgae. ROS generations also affected. As a result, death will happen. So this is about the microplastic impact on both animals and the plants at experimental level. The same thing only happen in the nature. So there are many fishes, many mammals, many reptiles, turtles. They are affected by thrown nets, the waste and the broken nets thrown into the ocean, which act as a host net. So when whatever the organisms like turtles or mammals or whatever the fish, they cross these nets, so they are caught by this net and die. Because of a plastic net dumping in the ocean, this also happens. Host fishing. This is called host fishing. The organism cannot be useful to human, so they caught by this net, and their death will happen. Like that, there are a lot of dumping plastic nets or host nets are available in the ocean. There are many fishes, many turtles, many mammals are killed by these nets. So I already told you, these all are the 5 different types of sea turtles reported in Indian water. These all turtles are affected by host net fishing. These all turtles are affected by eating the plastic as a food material. This is happening. 90% of loggerhead turtle, or 90% of loggerhead populations are declined due to this host net fishing, due to the consumption of microplastic and macroplastic food microplastic material. So this is a microplastic in marine biota. Everywhere in sediment, every organisms, I already told you, it is present in every entire food chain, entire food web. Microplastics are present. People usually they classify the microplastic based on the physical property, based on the type of plastic, based on the color of plastic. Physically they classify. So when you take the physical property, the terminology, the size, based on the size, already you know that microplastic means based on the size they classify. Apart from that, based on the type of plastic also we can classify the microplastic material like a pellet shape, fragment shape, fiber shape, film shape, rope and filament, microbeads, sponge and foam, rubber. These are based on the type. Like that, based on the color also, there are black sized color, black colored plastic material, blue colored, white color, transparent, red, green, multicolor. So these all are the physical properties we use to classify the plastic material, even microplastic material. When we go for characterization and study the plastic, these all are the properties, identification or characterization properties we can use to classify the plastic material. What size the more plastic materials are dumped, what shaped items are dumped more, what kind of colored items are dumped more. So among this, which one is more impactful, which one is less impactful? So this can be identified based on the physical, based on these physical properties. Okay, when we there are a lot of impact, not only human, not only marine animal, entire globe is greatly affected by plastic material. How we can study? There are internationally reputed methodologies are available to study the microplastic in marine water and the sediment. So when we want to study the ocean water microplastic or quantify the microplastic in ocean water, NOAA 2013 and 2015 and also GESM 2015 methods are uniform protocol. People are using everywhere to study the microplastic in surface water. It may be fresh water or ocean water. Motor nets are suitable for collecting the microplastic and study the microplastic. Like that, sediment sample, we have NOAA protocol. Sub-sediment sample also we have NOAA and NOAA protocol like 2013 and 2015 protocol we used for some transect study, we used for crab sampler and core sampler to collect the sediment and analyze the microplastic and the macroplastic load. So these all are the protocol, international protocol, standard protocols are available when we want to study the microplastic in water and sediment and biota. These all are the recommended protocol people are using and studying and publishing. So this is a graphical representation how we can. This is a Manta net used for collection of microplastic in surface water. This is a crab used to collect the sediment from the ocean depth. So after collecting it, we can go for sieving. In the case of biological sample, we can go for biological digestion, followed by filtrations, and then physical property analysis. What is the size of particle? What is the shape of particle? What is the nature of particle? All this physical property we can, by visual observation using microscope, we can study the physical property. And the weight also, what is the size and what is the weight also we can quantify it. After that, when we want to study the nature of polymer, we can. There are a lot of advanced spectroscopic methods are available. That spectroscopic method people are using to know the polymer, different polymer. What kind of polymer it belongs to, which polymer is dominator, which is less polymer, which is highly toxic polymer. All this chemical characterization we can go for spectroscopic studies. This is about the graphical representation of microplastic studies in different environmental and biological samples. So this is the same thing, how the people are collecting. After collecting it, the saving and subsampling and the density-based separations and the filtrations, microscopic observation and the spectroscopic, Raman spectroscopic, FTIR and other methods, advanced micro FTIR and other methods are available to know the different polymers. Actually, this polymer, this microplastic belongs to which polymer. So the polymer characterization can be done by different kind of spectroscopic method. This is the collection methods and filtrations and on the physical characterization of microplastic by visual observation. So when we go for chemical characterization, this is advanced method. It's not easily affordable. High-tech laboratory only this kind of spectroscopic methods are available for chemical characterization of microplastics. So physical characterization we can do it with the microscope. There are different dissection microscope, polarized microscope, fluorescence microscope, even advanced scanning electron microscope, atomic force microscopes are used to physically characterize. What about the color, shape, size, all physical characterization we can do. But when we go for chemical characterization of microplastic, we need to have advanced spectroscopic methods to know the polymer, what kind of polymer. We can go for a spectroscopic method, particularly FTIR is a basic method used to know the polymer. Then Raman spectroscopy is another method. Then the energy dispersive X-ray method. From this, we can have transmission, alternated total refractant methods and the reflectance, the mapping methods and the focal plan array mapping. These all are the advanced spectroscopic method we can use to know the polymer. Like that, there are thermal analysis, analytical method also there, where we can use a differential scanning, calorimetry, and the thermal desorption gas chromatography, mass spectrophotometry, and the pyrolysis method. These all are the thermal analytical method that also we can use it. These are some high-level method used to know the chemical properties of the microplastics. Each and every method, they have their own advantages, they have their own limitations. When we see the each and every method, there is an advantage, there is an limitations. So, for example, if you take microscopic, it is simple, fast, and easy method. But chemical analysis, polymer characterization is not possible. Only physical characterization we can do with the microscopic method. If you go for Raman and FTR method, plastic conformation is possible. Polymer composition of major type, major size, the size, if the size of the particle is more, we can go for polymer composition and the polymer conformations. If size is very small, the Raman and the FTIR is not possible to detect the polymer nature. So like that, each and every method, they have their own advantage, they have their own limitations. So this is about this around 30 slides, we discuss about the existence of microplastic in different environment, how we can study the microplastic, what kind of protocols are available to study the microplastic, There are a lot of impact also reported, available. And when you just think about in future, what will happen if the conditions are going like this? You see everywhere, every home, the people cross 40 years, they are definitely affected by diabetic. They are definitely affected by blood pressure. They are definitely there are if the people cross 60 years, every home we have cancer patient, we have stroke patients. Like that, no, disease occurrence is increasing day by day. These all are happen due to environmental problem, particularly microplastic usage. Not only microplastic, there are others also there. These others like pesticide usage, metal usage, and the environmental air quality. These also play a major role. What I am telling to here, microplastic also contribute because it is made up of polymer, toxic polymers. These polymers, when enter into the human body, it causes all kind of health issues. So how we can manage it? So it is available everywhere. There are a lot of health issues are coming day by day. It is increasing day by day. Definitely in 2050, if you continue the conditions going like this, definitely there are a lot of health issues will happen. So these are some of the suggestive management measures to overcome microplastic impact. So particularly in the marine environment, grading of beaches with the color code would help the planner and the policymaker to increase the number of A-grade beaches every year. Grading means a clean beach. We need to maintain the clean beach. When you dump all this matter into the beach or in the coastal area, it enters the ocean and it contaminates enter seafood. When you consume the seafood, definitely human health also impacted. So making the clean environment, grading the clean coastal environment is important. Another thing is, I already told you, there are 10 years contribute 90% of plastic in the ocean. So the plastics are terrestrial in origin. All control measures to start from the land area, particularly the river area, to filter the river water before entering into the ocean is very important. Filter the water and remove the microplastic and the plastic items and recycle the plastic items. So all plastics enter into the ocean through the river only. So control measure we need to take in the terrestrial itself, particularly in the river system itself. All the river, sewage canals opening to the largest stream, river or sea should be filtered. The water should be filtered and remove the plastic from a river, a stream, or land itself before entering into the ocean. Then through regular coastal cleanups to reduce the dumping of plastic and the beach litter into the ocean. And the public awareness is another important. So we need to educate the people. When you use this kind of plastic and all, we need to educate the people. The diseases, all kind of human diseases are coming from this plastic usage and plastic dumping only. When we burn the plastic item, there are a lot of number of toxic gases, toxic chemicals are coming from this fire. This is also a great impact. So the education to the society, the public awareness to the society is very important. And we need to reduce the usage of plastics. We need to carry the yellow bag. Like our ancestors, what they did in the previous period. Like that, we need to take our own degradable bag to purchase any items. Then habit of using alternate eco-friendly material for frequently consumed items such as stationery bag and packing materials. So we need to bring up alternate methods. So another last important point is, that pollution solution for any pollutant is 3R. Any kind of, if you pollute the environment, 3R is a solution. Previously, people used to say 3R means the sense, for example, pesticide pollution or heavy metal pollution or air pollution or land, whatever the pollution. And the formula for the solution for pollution is 3R. One is called as reuse, recycle, and reduce. So for any pollution, this 3R is the solutions. So for example, in this microplastic or plastic pollution, we need to follow the 4R: reduce, recycle, reuse, recycle, reduce, and replace is important. Instead of plastic, we need to replace the complete plastic into degradable item and other items. Replace is very important. We need to follow the third or fourth R for managing the plastic pollution. So these are some of the example how the peoples are all over the world. This is the photograph from Vietnam. These peoples, they are using the waste dumped plastic material for constructing the wall. Eco brick are used to make the model of furniture, garden space, wall, and even full-scale buildings they are making. So like that, we can go for usage of this plastic bottles and the plastic material for reuse. We need to reuse these items instead of dumping. We need to reuse. This is an eco-friendly way to control the plastic pollution. So in countries like Western countries, all Western Europe and American countries, they are even dumping itself. They are segregating the items like a rubbish item, plastic bottles, aluminum can, glass items, and other picnic rubbish. They are segregating the item while dumping itself. So after segregating it, so they can go for whatever the item they can go for recycle it, whatever the item they can go for degrade it, whatever the item they can go for dump it. So when we segregate the item properly, the management is easy. But in India, all items we are dumping in single place. So that causes problem. So there are a few more slides only. This is about the overall view of microplastic pollution and the impact, whatever the slides we discussed. So there are a few more slides, around 8 or 7 slides, deals with the studies which are going on in my lab. So this is now quantification and the impact of microplastic in environmental and seafood samples of industrially polluted Kadalur Coast, East Coast of Tamil Nadu. This project is funded by Tamil Nadu Institute for Science and Technology. These are the objective of this project. This is currently ongoing. So from this project, we identified a lot of plastic material present in the Kadalur Coast, particularly in the water samples and also sediment samples. These are some evidence how the microplastic particles, not only how the microplastics are existence in the Kadalur coastal environment, particularly in the sediment and particularly in the water samples. You see, so this is about our study area in Kadalur coast. These are Kadalur coast is like a Thoothukudi coast only. Here all kind of industrial activity, domestic activity, tourism activities are going on. We have collected sample in the coastal area. This part only we have collected sample. These are some of the various activities like industrial tourism, boat yard, effluent discharging point, harbor area, pharmaceutical. There are many activities are going on. So we selected different stations along the Kadalur coast for collection of sediment sample, water sample, and also seafood sample for analysis of microplastic existence. This is ongoing work. It's going on. So during our field visit, this is a condition we have observed in the Kadalur coast. You see how much plastic materials are dumped. This is the coastal part. The rope which people are using in the boat and the ship, they are just dumped. When it present the beach area due to waves, due to temperature, due to tidal influence, they gradually convert into microplastics. So all kind of dumping, you see this in Kadalur coast. So from our study, these all are now microplastic distribution based on the color. So blue colored particles are 30%, followed by white colored particle and the black colored particle. These are based on the physical characterization we characterized. This is about, so there are 5 different stations we used to collect the sample. All the 5 different stations, we collected the sample both in high tide and low tide. This is about particle numbers in each and every stations in sediment sample. This is another interesting case studies we have conducted. This is second case studies we conducted in Salem district. In Salem district, a different area we have chosen as a study area for collection of sample. We used the study animal is crow, Indian crow, common crow. We have collected the common crow fecal matter. Around 300 samples we have collected in different localities in Salem district, particularly in the urban area, urban area near to within the city, then outside the city, and there are no zoological park. This is in wild area where also we have collected sample, and also fish market also we have, because fish market area many crows are available. And then wild environment, in forest environment we have crows, and urban city we have crows, and the other village also we have selected the area to collect the fecal matter of crow. Around more than 300 samples we have collected and analyzed the microplastic presence in the fecal matter of the crow. So these all are the physical and the chemical characterization we used to study. So from our study, these are the fecal matter. The microplastics are present. There are some plastics are RCTC is present. There are some plastics are degrading nature, because when we enter into the biological system, our enzymes try to degrade the plastic materials. Among the different plastic absorbed in the fecal matter of crow, there are 6 different plastics are absorbed, like a polystyrene, polyester, polypropylene, low density polymer, high density polymer, and citrus acetate polymer, nylon material, and there are some samples, there are some more unidentified in nature. These all are the physical and the chemical based classification of polymers present in the fecal matter of the crow. All samples, the polymers are present, because crow is a omnivore in nature. It feeds both the items, like vegetarian or non-vegetarian. It eat both meat and vegetarian item also. So all the crows, irrespective of 300 samples, we have observed microplastic particles in the fecal matter. You think about the gut. If you check the gut of the crow, definitely the plastic load is much more. So we used for chemical characterization of microplastic particle present in the fecal matter of crow. These all are the different chemical polymers. Polymers are present in the fecal matter, like HDPE, high density polymer, polystyrene, nylon, cellulose acetate, polypropylene, and low density polymer. These are the different type of polymer we have characterized from the crow fecal matter. So this polymer also we went for SEM imaging. These all are when it entered to the tract, gastrointestinal tract, there are enzymes. These enzymes try to degrade the polymers. These are some of the evidence for degradation of polymers present in the fecal matter of crows. So we went both SEM image, SEM image, and also FTR for chemical characterization. This study is this is a study we have submitted to environmental pollution. The impact of the journal is 8.079. The paper is almost accepted. It's minor revision only. Within 1 or 2 months, you can see these papers. This is the first report on occurrence of microplastic in crow fecal matter. Worldwide, this is the first report. No studies about microplastic impact on crow is reported. This is the first report. Then third and the last study, case studies, is also ongoing study. Yeah, everywhere the microplastics problem is there. What is the solution? One of the solution is to identify the potential bacteria which degrade the microplastic. So this is the study, identification and analyzing potential of microplastic degrading bacteria from polluted coastal environment. This is MHRD funded project. This is a CURSE study. These all are the objective of this study. It is currently ongoing. So we are screening for identification of potential microbes, particularly bacteria, which degrade the plastic. We are collected the sample around along the Tamil Nadu coast. You just see, these all are our sampling location. We went and each and every locations like Chennai, Pondicherry, Nagapattinam, Mandapam, Thoothukudi, Kanyakumari, everywhere. These all are the study site where we have selected harbor site, domestic sewage dumping site, industrial site, chemical and tourism spot. Like each and every locations, we went for all these areas and collected the samples where we isolated the bacteria. So there are bacteria which have potent ability to degrade the microplastic. This study is currently going on. We have potent strains. We need to conduct more studies and identify the strain. These are the spot where we have collected the bacteria, various polluted sites along the Tamil Nadu coast where we have collected the bacteria. So during our study, you just see when you go for field study and all, there are domesticated animal livestock which are feeding this plastic material. This is a fish mess, very small, soft fish mess sized net. Actually, this coat and all, they are eating this plastic. You just think about it. This is a direct food for human. This only we are using as every week we are eating mutton. Actually, this coat, they are eating this net. So it get accumulated in the gastrointestinal tract. It cannot digest. It cannot come outside. As a result, what happens? There are system in our body which absorb the material. So they, of course, this when the fishing net enters into the goat gastrointestinal tract, it cannot be digested. It cannot easily come out. It blocks the gut. Even there are enzymes try to degrade the things. When the enzymes degrade the plastic, it can be absorbed by the villi present in the gastrointestinal tract, in the gut of the goat. And it enters the whole body, blood system, whole tissue system, the microplastics, smaller particles, nanoplastics get accumulated. This only we are eating. When we eat, automatically what happens? All kind of health impact will come. So this organism is directly linked with the human food chain. So like that, there are many, even human body, our blood, our blood sample contain nano-level plastic. In China, there is another report they conducted from the around 100 young human. They collected the human fecal matter and analyzed the microplastic. All human being, the fecal matter contains nanoplastic and the microplastic. They reported in China. Even human blood, they contain nanoplastic. Like that, the human also, our body also contaminated by microplastic. When we lost the immunity, when we become adult, all kind of health issues will come if the conditions continue like this. So this is another interesting report. The microplastic study started during we have started even 1970. The impact of microplastic and plastic on environment and human health. People have started, but the study before 2010, the studies are very little only, but studies are available very, very little, only few are studies. After 2010, you see the usage of plastic. After 2010, the globalization come, the usage of plastic, population explosion happened, usage of plastic become more, industrialization become more. As a result, there are more studies, number of studies are becoming more for the past 1.5 decades. Microplastic studies and publications become more and more. You see, this is the things. With this, I hope my slide will be over. I take this opportunity to thank the organizer for giving me the opportunity to share my experience with you people all. I hope my audio also audible to all, slides also visible to all. There are some interruption happen in the beginning because of due to my desktop problem. I am not able to come on time, 20 minutes late because of my system problem. I really apologize the things. I take this opportunity to entire organizing team and college administrative people for giving me the opportunity to share my experience with you. If you have any doubts and clarification, I am ready to clarify your doubts and clarification. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable information. Dear participants, if you have any questions, you can post your questions in the chat box or unmute your mic and ask your questions.
Sir, good afternoon. This is Dr. Ega from Chennai.
Yes, madam. Good afternoon.
Yeah, your presentation was very good, sir, and a very important topic nowadays. This is the problem, the solid waste, the plastic will cause us a problem. So as we are facing a lot of problem, not only to the human beings, but also to plants, animals, whatever marine ecosystem and terrestrial ecosystem. You have explained well, sir. This topic is currently needed topic to the society. So first of all, I would like to appreciate your presentation and topic also, sir. But the important one thing I would like to ask one question, sir, always in my mind as a nature club coordinator in my college. So I would like to ask one important question that, sir, why being a life science staff members, being a life science staff member, we always discussing about the problem and the scientific solutions also. Okay, why we cannot stop the production of the plastic in India? What is the reason?
Yeah, that is in government side, madam. Even if you go to instead of telling and instead of taking so many regulations and rule, we need to stop the plastic production industry. That government only has to take the decision. No, if you go visit the wildlife areas, particularly Ooty, Kodaikanal and the forest area, they are strictly following. No hotels are allowed to use plastic. No shops are allowed to use plastic. Even in Tamil Nadu, if you go to the wildlife area, particularly the wildlife forest and all, people are strictly following. Their fines are there. They are stopping. They are closing their license when they use the plastic and all. The same thing not happen here. That is the thing. The government only has to take the, we peoples actually, we are in the form of conference, in the form of meeting, we are telling the truth in the form of research and publications, we are telling the truth. But government only has to take the decision to stop. But even we are following strictly in the wildlife areas where no plastics are allowed. If you go to the Ooty, Kodaikanal and the forest wildlife area, no, the same things only we have to follow here. But it is in the government, it is in the administrative side.
Hello. Sir, are we representing? Yeah, are we representing any objectives, sir, to solve this problem to the central government and state government, being a life science faculty members?
Yes, madam. My project, TNEHCSD project, is in end stage. We observe a lot of impact. We observe a lot of problems also. Within 3-4 months, we are going to submit the report where we are going to write the recommendation to the Tamil Nadu state government. With reference to Kadalur Coast, my study area is Kadalur Coast. What is the status of Kadalur Coast in terms of plastic and the microplastic pollution? What is the impact on marine organism? If you follow this same thing in future, what will happen? There are we categorize, we have a lot of recommendations. That recommendation we are going to submit into Tamil Nadu State Council. The government only has to take the policy decision, other decisions.
Yes, okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Sir,
thank you.
sir. Hello,
yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Sir, I would like to ask you some things about the microplastics. Sir, please, can you share your PPT for us?
Sir, here, some of the confidential data are available. My project data are available. If you want any specific thing, I will send you, because so many project data are available that I cannot completely share. If specifically you need anything, you can write the mail. I will send you. I will help you.
Okay,
for example, particularly methodology part and other part, I will help you, because here project data are available. Before publishing, before submitting the data to funding agency, I cannot provide, sir. Sorry. Specifically for you people, you want to start the work, maybe you may ask the methodology and other thing. If you need any specific item, I will help you. I will support you, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
I would like thanks to all organizations. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Rajaram, sir, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Sir, how are you?
Yeah, very fine, sir. Very fine.
Dr. Rajaram is my very good friend and he's my colleague also. We both attended the refresher course together.
Yes, sir.
Sir, only this type of phenomena, throwing the plastic bags on the road, is seen only in India, not in any of the foreign countries.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so the main thing is the people mentality has to change.
Yeah, people.
No use of blaming the government alone. Everyone has got their own conscience.
Yes, sir.
Now, more than the plastics, sir, of late, after the COVID, I can see masks everywhere.
Yes.
Even my neighbor throws it on the road.
Yes,
I pick up and burn it.
Yes.
Wherever we go for walk, now seashores, sir, I have seen in Kadalur coast, the Devanapatnam seashore area, we had some fishing.
Yes.
We found so many masks.
Yes, sir.
So you cannot blame the government. Government cannot do anything. People have got their own conscience and they should do according to their conscience.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your suggestion is highly valuable, sir. Highly valuable.
We give a lot of suggestions, but no action, sir. That's a problem.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Rajaram. Excellent presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Even though I came late.
Yeah, thank you.
Arachi sir, thank you for your discussion. I'm Dr. Glory.
Thank you, ma'am. I think, did I disturb you?
No. It's a welcome discussion.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a
event
lot.
of any seminar. Okay.
Thanks a lot. Okay, ma'am.
Hello, Rajaram sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Dr. Glory. I joined late. I was busy with some other work. But I heard your excellent presentation. Of course, it's very nice. Someone has asked some doubt. I too get often some doubts when we talk about reuse, reduce, etc.
Yes.
I get if the reduce, it means only a reduction of usage or reduction of production.
Both, madam. Both. Reduction of production, reduction of usage, both.
Yes, as Dr. Arachi said, of course, the people are not aware of that, but it is still more education is required for the rural youth, because nowadays, as you said, in the elite society and the elite hotels and all, always somehow plastic usage have been reduced, but in the rural area where the thick population contaminating the whole things, but I think better education and standard of living is still more required.
Yes,
for only when the countries are reaching the developed nation, that knowledge can be reached every heart and soul of every people in India.
Yes, madam.
Yes, one more thing, sir. When our government takes all initiative to fund the project to find out the hazards associated all with this pollution, but after submitting the report, they never care about the report, what the project report. They're not taking any action.
Industrial people only ruling, madam.
Yes.
Ruling the government.
Yes.
So there are actions are there are reports are there. The government receive all kind of things, but the industry people ruling.
Yes.
Even
in
Thoothukudi coast, 2014 to 17, every month I went there. It is a combat, Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Trust project for analyze the metal in Thoothukudi area. 2 years continuously, 16 locations we collected the sample and analyze the metal level in analyze the metals, and we report we prepare the extensive report to submit into the government of Tamil Nadu Forest Department, and also they forward the report into government of India. Even Parliament, they talk about our report, and there are alarming level of metals reported in the Thoothukudi coast, but no actions are taken. But
one side the government give alarm, other side they give preference all industrialists.
Yes, madam.
Corporate.
Even our university opposite side, if you go to the main road opposite of our university, there is a plastic manufacturing factory. Every day I am coming, seeing the factory.
Yes.
What can we do? So we need to take alternative degradable items and encourage the degradable items. The government has.
Yes, sir. Thoothukudi coast has been converted into industrial zone.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for sir. Morning I couldn't welcome you.
No problem.
But a little bit I joined a little bit later, but it's very elaborate. Shall we go ahead with if no questions? Shall we go ahead with the formal vote of thanks, sir?
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Okay, may I invite Dr. Marian from Department of Botany to propose vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone, to one and all present here. Honorable GPS, Dr. Rajaram, respected Secretary, Principal, faculties, all the participants. It is such an honor for me to get the opportunity to thank you all dignitaries. On behalf of the Botany Department, I, Dr. Marian, would like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed delegates of the workshop for their presence and contribution to make this workshop a great success. I extend my gratitude to our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Rajaram, to take out time for this busy schedule to grace the event. Sir, your valuable information on types of microplastics and its hazard to biodiversity is an alarm to human on its need of restoration. Thank you so much for your emphatic, content-rich presentation, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
A special thanks to our secretary, Reverend Sister Flora Mary, Principal Dr. Sister Lucia Rose, for providing me immense support to make the workshop successful. I extend my gratitude to Dr. Glory, Head of the Department, Botany, to organize a workshop even amidst the pandemic. My sincere thanks goes to Reverend Sister R.K. Jinshi Alphonse, Overall Coordinator and Member Secretary, Star College Program, for her blessings. I congratulate all the participants for their active participation. Thank you everyone once again for making it a great success. Thank you all.
Hello, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Okay.